Hello, hello, and welcome to Reality Rights. I am author Ellie Alexander, and I'm here with,
I am the tech guy.
and we bring you all of the juicy news and information from the world of books. But today we're sweltering here in California, and we're hoping that all the darlings out there are somewhere cool and safe with hurricanes and fires and all the joys of summer.
100-degree temps. Yeah. It's rough out there.
It's
Yeah.
rough. It's rough. Well, speaking of rough, this week we're gonna get a little tech schooling. Perhaps you've got some information to impart to us. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna get all technical, but I don't want people to get afraid. A couple of caveats though before we get started that are super important. One, I may rattle off some URLs, some domain names and such while we're talking. Do not go to these websites.
Right.
I'm going to make them up on the fly.
Yeah.
And
They don't
going
exist.
to these websites will actually go against everything we're going to talk about internet smarts for readers and writers. And why are we doing this? Well, we had a situation this week, or not this week. I guess it was what two weeks ago now, right?
Yeah. So whenever I have a new book come out, or whenever I get extra copies from my publishing house, a lot of times audio will show up for me or special copies. I love to get to share them with readers. And so often we will do a giveaway on social media, which is fantastic. And I always have language in there about how none of this is associated with Facebook or Instagram, when the giveaway is going to end. Never would I charge for a giveaway. The whole point is to share free books with readers. And we were on the newest book releases had just come out, The Body in the Bookstore and A Murder at the Movies. And we were up in Seattle and we were getting ready to go to Leavenworth. And I woke up on Friday morning and I just was like barraged with DMs that's like, Ellie, you've been hacked. You've been hacked. And I was like, wait, no, I haven't been hacked.
Yeah.
Which brings us to your TED Talk today.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Friday morning was super fun for you because I mean, one, this happened with your giveaway,
Mm.
and but two, you know how I get about this subject in particular, and I kind of went off. Like, I was pretty riled up.
That was even pre-coffee too. Like we
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not exactly the way that we wanted to start the day. I was my day off, and like it just, yeah, we spent a couple hours dealing with it. But
and it's super
essentially,
frustrating. And it's one of the things that you are just known for in our own personal sphere, and certainly have
right.
provided insight into some of the writing groups that I teach. You've popped on to give them your own little TED Talks about technology and marketing. And so this
You
is sort of
mean you
like,
mean tech talks? See what I did
oh,
there? Yeah, nailed it.
yes. Welcome to the Tech Talk today. This is a little bit of a PSA too, because we want to be able to share things like giveaways and anything on social, but we're at an age and a time where you have to be really careful and conscientious about what you're viewing, how you're viewing with it, how you're interacting with a post, etc.
Yeah, for sure. And for all the aspiring writers out there, the new writers, the veteran writers, this is going to happen. I mean, it
Yeah.
just is. It's unfortunate. And for the readers out there, you have to be careful. You have to pay attention. And so we're going to talk through what happened. Essentially, there were some bad actors that decided they were going to take over. And no, I'm not talking about like Andrew McCarthy. Just like that
Right.
terrible Bratz
Mhm.
documentary, like pity
Could have been so
party
good.
for him. It could have been great, but
Could have been so
anyway, we're talking about a different kind of bad actor, and that's the people online that are hackers, fishers that are they're out there trying to get your information, trying to steal your money, trying to steal your identity, and they're everywhere.
Well, and
And
can we back up for 1 second before you
yeah,
do a deep dive into this too? Like, let's bust some myths about hacking. I did not get
mm,
hacked.
right,
This is a
right.
phishing scam. So maybe
This
you
is
can
right.
start at that point because I know, like, I by osmosis osmosis, I cannot talk today,
Yeah.
have learned so much from you, but, there's this immediate thing of like, "Oh my gosh, you've been hacked." No, I hadn't been hacked.
No, yeah, hacking is actually it's pretty rare if you're comparing the two, hacking and phishing with a ph, phishing. It's hacking is somebody breaking into your device, whether that's stealing your device and breaking into it, your laptop, your phone, whatever, and getting the information off of it, or doing it remotely. And there are all sorts of scary things called like key loggers, and there's just like there are ways that people can get your information. That's getting hacked. They take control of your device, your accounts. Whether you used a terrible password or use the same password on multiple sites. By the way, never, ever do that. Never do that. I mean, not even for two sites that you think don't matter at all. There was just actually 2 days ago, I read on the 4th of July, I read an article. There was some user, some hacker uploaded 10 billion passwords
Oh my gosh.
to a site on the dark web. And it's just, I guess, to back up, the first thing is go change all your passwords. I mean,
Yeah,
just do it, because 10 billion passwords, 10 billion sets of login credentials, the odds that your information for at least one of the services that you use isn't in that file, pretty small. It's pretty small that some of your information is not in there. It happens. That's hacking. Phishing, on the other hand, is when nefarious people online or over the phone impersonate others to try and see if they can steal your information, or worst case scenario, steal your financial information
yeah,
and
get
get
your
money
credit
out of
card
you.
info. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so they're two different things, and it's usually two different people. Hacking is very, very technical. It takes somebody that's very technically savvy, much more so than myself. Like, I wouldn't even know how to hack somebody's device. I mean,
Well, you
honestly,
should
like,
try. Like,
I
this could
didn't.
be good research for a book, right?
Totally. I wouldn't even know where to start. I'd probably break something and like render whatever I was trying to steal useless. But phishing, on the other hand, anybody can do that, because all it takes is just the understanding that most people don't pay very close attention when they're sharing their information, and most
Right.
people do a really, really poor job of locking down their information online. I mean, like, really poor. And we'll get into some of those ways. But you want to talk a little bit about why this relates to writers and readers, because that's what Reality Writes is all about, right? We're
Yeah.
here to help.
Exactly, because we don't want well, and like you said, I coach and I teach a lot of new writers, and so this is a good way if you are just starting out your writing career to make sure that all of your social media accounts are also locked down, password protection, double authenticate on why am I not typing today?
You got the concepts down, just not the pronunciation. So yeah,
I know, what the heck?
yeah,
Um, you want to make sure that you start out any sort of platform that you're building from that place. And then from a reader perspective, one thing that has happened so often is that readers then will send me direct messages or emails and they're so excited about, whatever the giveaway or event is happening. And I've had this happen to so many of my colleagues too. And it's really making us rethink how we're going to do giveaways moving forward too, because
yeah,
clearly a lot of the social media platforms are not really invested in stopping this behavior either.
right,
Um, but then just not reading and not paying attention to what you're seeing and not really thinking and taking a pause and using discernment to be like, wait a minute, Ellie doesn't talk like that.
right,
As a writer, I sort of pride myself in having good grammar. Clearly, I can't speak to die, but in general, I'm not going to use broken English and punctuation that's wrong. I'm never going to ask you for money. I mean, that was one of the clear red flags immediately. If you're clicking on a link from me saying that you've won a giveaway and please pay me $1.99, like you should run screaming immediately.
right. Right. Well, and it's going to get harder for people to identify this stuff, right? Because like the broken
Yeah.
English thing, that those are lazy fishers. Because with the advent of AI,
Yeah.
anybody could just type broken English into ChatGPT or Claude or any of the large language models out there, and they'll get back a perfectly normal sounding English sentence, so you just have to be careful and you just have to watch out. Uh, the uh, the thing the situation, I guess, that got us here though was something that affected readers, and it's something that as writers who have social media accounts, you're going to probably experience, unfortunately. This particular issue happened on Facebook. I'll save my opinions of Facebook for the after party. So if you're one of
The
Ellie's
patrons get
patrons,
to
you'll
hear
get to
this.
hear
Yeah.
all about it because I
Yeah.
have thoughts. I have
That's
lots of
where the gloves
thoughts.
come off.
That's right. That's right. A little more centered here, but I guess we should start with just so what happened? You had a book giveaway going on your page, on your Facebook
Yep.
page.
Mhm.
People had to comment on the post in order to be eligible to win a signed copy.
Yep.
Somebody created multiple, because there were multiple pages, multiple fake pages that look somewhat like yours.
Yeah.
And then they commented the same exact comment on all like 200 and some people who,
Yeah.
comments that were already in the thread. And I'm just going to read the message,
Yeah.
just so we can get a sense of how things started, and then I'll go through like what was wrong,
Yeah.
and
Well, and
why.
also like, okay, yeah, I can't wait because I'm already reading this being
I
like,
know,
this is
I
not
know.
like me at all. What?
Right. So first up, congratulations, present emoji, present emoji, present emoji, ellipses.
I do like a good emoji. Like,
I know, and sure. And so, all right, normally I would say, okay, yeah,
maybe.
that's probably okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like something you might write.
Yeah.
I am very happy to say, followed by another ellipses, ... Base, you have been selected as the winner. But that's it. No period. That's
no
just the end of the
punctuation.
sentence.
Yeah.
To officially claim your prize, comma, we need to verify a few things first.
Huh?
Click
who's
the link. Yeah, right. Who is we?
Who is
right?
we?
Okay. Now
Okay.
I should say these people they just copied your profile photo, so
Right.
it has your profile. The comments all have your profile photo, but for your name, it's just a comma.
Comma.
A freaking comma. There does not say Ellie Alexander author. It doesn't.
No.
It's a comma.
I'm thinking about
okay.
changing my name to a comma now, though.
I
That
know, a
feels
little
right.
Prince action. Yeah,
little statement. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, so that should have been the first red flag, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So we gotta. Okay, so now the next thing is click the link below to claim your prize, and then there's
Again,
the link.
no punctuation.
Right, no punctuation. Then there's the link, and it's like, it's and here again, another disclaimer. I'm going to reiterate the disclaimer that I said earlier. Do not go to this website. But the website, do not go to this website. Darlings, do not go to this website. It's ellie-alexander.myfreesites.net. Okay. I mean, come on. Like, really?
No.
Don't. Okay, so again, do not go to that website. And then there are a bunch of instructions like click continue, comma, capital R, return here, and comment, quotes, done in all caps, and send proof of the screenshot confirmation email after you are done, exclamation point. Take this opportunity if within 12 hours we do not get back to you, blah, 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 blah. We don't need to go through the whole thing. There were a bunch of steps. I never saw the site, but we know from a few readers who actually unfortunately did this. When you click
Yeah.
through, there was a form to fill out, and you had to like basically make a dollar. It was like 99 cents or $1.99 purchase, essentially, to like verify your identity or whatever. And it's these people were doing. There was no 99 cent or $1.99 charge going through. These people were just capturing your credit card information.
Right.
And well, along with your name and your address and your, the little CCV code on the back of your card, all that.
So scary.
Yeah. So a couple of red flags. One, as I already stated, like the name is a comma. So that should have been red flag number one.
Yes.
Red flag number two would be that stupid website that they used. Myfreesites.net. Don't ever go to anything that says myfreesites.net. What are you going to find there that's of value? This is like, I can't even think of a real world example, but it's terrible. Like anything. So real quick, anything to the left, like whenever you're going to a website, whenever you're going to Google, Amazon, Apple, like whatever website, Ellie Alexander, whatever website, everything immediately to the left of the domain extension, the .com, the .net, the .co, in this case, listen to past episodes if you want to hear about my issues with not owning elliealexander.com. But
I don't think we talked about that yet. We got to go over that.
Okay. Oh, we haven't. Okay. Well,
No,
good.
That's another topic, but I digress.
Yeah. Everything immediately to the left of that domain extension should be the name, the URL, the domain that you are trying to go to. So in this case, that you recognize. So if you're going to Apple, it should be apple.com. It shouldn't be apple.myfreesites.com. It shouldn't be apple.you'reawinner.com. It shouldn't be apple.givemeafreemac.com. Because if you go to any of those websites, and again, do not go to those websites, but if you go to those, if you were to click on those websites, you're not going to Apple, you're going to My Free Sites, what did I say, You're a Winner, and GiveMeAFreeMac.com. So you're going to a site that with all likelihood, in all likelihood, I guess, Apple has nothing to do with, and that was the case here. We do not have anything to do with myfreesites.net. We've never used the myfreesites.net service. This is it's likely a free website hosting company that anybody can go and set up a free website at in like 2 minutes. And so that's what they did. So that should have been a huge red flag. And so people, like, this is just something that I hope that if like even one person listens to me and before they click on a link, and this goes for text messages too, because text spam is like off the charts now.
I've gotten tons of emails over the years from like US Bank that's like usbank. You get free money.net. Like, that's not right.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't click on those links. You're not going to find what you're looking for there. And in all likelihood, bad things are going to happen. But there were other red flags that, and other ways that people could have easily determined that this wasn't an official communication. One, everybody on the thread got the same comment. Everybody. So
you all get a book. You get a book. You get a book.
I mean, it'd be great if we were in the position that when 200 plus people comment on a post, we could make them all winners and give away 200 free books. But we cannot do that right now. But your Facebook page, it's you, right? You've got your cover photo, you've got your profile pic, and you've got your name. So those three things. The problem with Facebook in particular is that, and we saw this, is that somebody can save those photos. They can download them and then they can use them themselves so that they're able to go through and make it look like you. What they can't do though is they can't They can't fake your page in the sense that you've got a ton of content on there that shows that you're Ellie Alexander. And it's like things like you have an intro and you have links to all your other sites. So everything else that you have online is there. Your TikTok account, your YouTube account, your Instagram account, Etsy shop, Patreon, everything is there on the left side of the page on the desktop version of Facebook. And then and this is the biggest one, the posts, the things that you post. It's all the content that you've shared over the years. How long have you been on Facebook? How long do you
I
think
was just thinking, I mean, I think professionally I've been on Facebook since 2012. So like going on, what is that? 12
12
years now?
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So a
12 years
dozen
worth of
years.
content.
In 12 years, you've posted thousands of times, thousands.
Absolutely.
You've shared thousands of photos. You like thousands of times. Well, one of the fake accounts, because there were 3 or 4 that I found and reported to Facebook, but one of the accounts, they stole your cover photo and they stole your profile pic, but there's no name. It's just 2 ASCII characters, like weird looking ASCII characters there. There's no name.
That's another option for a name change, though.
Right.
ASCII.
Totally.
I mean,
It could
that has a good
totally.
ring to it. Say
Yeah.
ASCII.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. We should get a new cat, name it that. But the other thing was if you looked at there's no intro, there's no links to other accounts and everything. And this is where some phishing is really sophisticated. Some of it is just stupid,
So bad.
real low level. But this is a volume game. So if you look at the photos, you'll see a bunch of they've shared a bunch of photos there, like Eagle Aruba Resort, the logo for them, and Meta Glow, I don't know, RSI, and then some random pictures of people that we don't know. The thing is, if you were to look at those photos, those are the cover photos of other companies that they've done this to. So these are other people that were running giveaways and they've like done this. And this page has one post, and that's it. And it is even, you know how at the top of Facebook posts, it'll be like Ellie Alexander updated her cover photo or profile photo. This says the 2 characters, the 2 like ASCII characters updated his profile photo and that's the one post there. So if you're not sure that a comment that is a response to your comment on Facebook or Instagram or any of that, if you're not sure that it's really the person that you think it is or that you hope it is that's posting it, you can just click on their profile. You just go look at their profile before you click on any links. You're not going to get hacked or give up any information if you just go look at their profile. And if you look at their page, then you'll see things like this where you only see just junk.
Other businesses, content that is relevant to me or my books or writing. Yeah.
Right. It's so easy. So just like, I guess the advice here is if you think you've won something, just take a beat, check it out before you click on any page. And for the love of whatever, never give your payment information to anyone if you've entered a free giveaway.
There's no world in which myself or any of my author peers are ever going to ask anyone for credit card information for a giveaway.
Right. We don't want your credit card information for the simple fact that, like, I don't want that stored on any of our machines because, and so right now I can already hear a bunch of people that are probably like, oh, well, I just like, I don't do anything online, so my information's safe. And, I stay away from all that stuff. And I don't want to freak people out here. But the thing is, like, if you have a bank account, and you should really have a bank account, please don't keep your money in a mattress. But if you have a bank account, if you go to the doctor, if you have a library card, your information is available online. Mm-hmm. It's not open to anybody, but it is in a system somewhere that is in all likelihood hooked up to the internet and is information that can be gathered. So that's not to scare you. That's just to state the reality of the situation. And the thing is, It's the same as your house, right? We live in a very safe city in an extremely safe neighborhood. We have an alarm system with cameras and everything and stuff. If somebody wants to break in here and steal all our stuff, they're going to do it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's not really anything we can do. So you just kind of have to trust that you can take the steps that you can take. And those are the things that you can control. And you know, protect yourself as much as possible and reduce the chances that you're going to fall victim to any of this stuff.
Right. Well, and, I think another key, especially, when you said take a beat, like, take a beat and also then read the fine print, because,
Yeah,
like, in this case, the giveaway didn't even end for another 4 or 5
that's
days.
right. That's right.
Um, and it was very clear about, like, winners will be announced on, like, the following Wednesday, and the giveaway goes until midnight the night before. And I'm always so honored that readers are excited about the possibility of winning one of my books. That's an amazing feeling. But I never want to have anyone be in a position where then they're so excited that they, you know, push through without really thinking of the ramifications if this isn't correct. And
Right.
unfortunately, like this is so pervasive and it's happening more and more and more.
Yeah, and it's going to increase. I mean, the good thing about AI is that it can be used for a lot of bad things, just like the internet. But the AI can also be used to detect AI and to detect phishing and stuff like this. So, I think it's a good idea for like that's the mantra, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
online mantra. Just take a beat, read it. If it sounds too good to be true, what's the old adage? If it sounds too good
probably
to
is.
be true, it probably is,
Yeah.
and that goes like triple on the internet. Um, you know, don't be so excited about winning something that you're willing to give up your, yeah, or your family's livelihood, and add a lot of stress and pressure to yourself.
Well,
Uh,
and the
yeah,
other thing is like in 2024, right? I do hear from a certain subset of readers who are also afraid of technology. And to your point, you're like, this isn't to scare you, but there you do need to be kind of savvy, a little bit more savvy, and
yeah.
put a little bit of effort into awareness if you're going to engage in the digital culture in which we're living in, right?
Yeah, and so I'm just going to say it right now. I can say it because I'm not the writer. I don't need to sell the books. But
I
I'm just going to
know.
say, like, nobody should be afraid of technology. Like,
Yeah.
it is the biggest cop out for people to say that oh well, I don't understand that tech stuff, so I'm just like I write all my passwords down in a book that I keep next to my computer. Don't do
Darlings,
that. Darlings, don't do
if
that
you're
either.
listening, that tech guy's head just exploded, I
Yeah.
think.
Because honestly, like that whole thing about people breaking into your house and stealing your stuff, you might as well just like be there to log into all your accounts for them because you're just giving them your computer along with all your passwords. Super
Well,
bad
and you need
idea.
more protected passwords. So forever, you hooked me up with one password many,
Yeah.
many years ago, and it's a dream because it creates new passwords for you. I don't have to remember any of my passwords. I just need to remember one to log in to the password app, and then I also am using passwords that are very, very involved, not just like I love books.
Right. Right.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, one for those of you who don't know, like password managers, there are a bunch out there, but the one that I've used and that I always recommend to people, and they're not sponsoring this or anything. I just love this company and have used them forever, but is 1password.com. It's the number one in the word
Number one.
password.com.
We're not
Um,
getting paid by them, we're not getting
no.
sponsored money, like, this is just we literally have used it for years, and it's a dream.
Yeah. Yeah, and what you do and this works the same with there are other options out there. 1Password is a paid product, so just know that there are free ones out there. Your browser can remember your passwords, although that's whatever your mileage may vary. Yeah, Google and Apple they put a lot of money into security every year, that's for sure, and they've got a lot of smart people working for them. But 1Password's a great app. It's available on Windows and Mac, and it essentially lets you remember all your passwords for every website, every service, everything without having to remember your passwords, because you just enter 1Password or use your fingerprints or whatever to unlock the 1Password app, and then it will fill in passwords for you. It creates them so you don't need to worry about it. You can make them whatever length they need to be. And
Those
then
common.
you just don't have to worry about it. It's a great product. And it's something that everybody should use, because again, I see this a lot, and I've seen this a lot with our families and our friends and everything over the years, like people using the same passwords for multiple websites. So going back to that story about the 10 billion uh, passwords being posted on the internet for thieves all over the place to download, people will take that file, and what they'll do is they basically grab a password out of, and they don't do this physically because they have scripts and
Yeah.
bots that do this for them,
Right.
but they'll take those passwords and they'll just start hammering websites with them to try and find out if you have an account at any of those websites, and if the login credentials that they got from this file are still valid. And if they are, they'll get in and they'll immediately change the password to something else and the email address to whatever they're using, and you will no longer have access to that account. And that could be your social media accounts, so they could post anything they wanted. They could post as you. They could impersonate you. It could be your bank. It could be anything. So it's really important. There's one piece that will kind of prevent them from information and leaks like this from being really as damaging as they usually end up being, and that's what's called, and you made reference to it earlier, I'm really proud of you, that was awesome.
Yes.
Two-factor authentication. Yeah, or sometimes you might see it sometimes referred to as one-time password, OTP. So TFA, OTP, yeah, you know me. Hey. Anyway, this is a code, and some of you are probably like annoyed by this and everything, because you go to log in and then it's like, okay, you've given me your password and that matches, great, good job. Now I'm going to text you a code and you're going to
Yeah.
enter that code.
Yeah.
Well, the reason that's important is because if somebody does steal your password, they only have one piece of information. It'd be like if you had a lock on your front door and the deadbolt, you had a deadbolt and the handle had a lock too, and they used two different keys. If somebody stole your keys, but they only had the key to the handle, they could get the door partially unlocked, but they couldn't come in because the deadbolt's still locked. And that's what two-factor authentication does, because even if somebody steals your password, they don't have access to your email account, because again, remember, you didn't use the same password for whatever service they stole your password for on your email account, right? Right?
Right.
So they can use your password, but then all they're going to get is the challenge question asking them to enter a 6-digit code. And they don't have that, because that will likely be texted to your phone or emailed to whatever email address you had set up. And so that helps. I mean, it really does. It's not 100% foolproof. Again, there are some really smart criminals out there. But if the website or service that you're using offers two-factor authentication, that is something that you should turn it on, every time, 100%. Yeah, it's super important. But I want to go back to the thing I was talking about, the being afraid of technology being a cop out, because I think people who say that, That's just an excuse. I am willing to bet every single person that says that they're afraid of technology, or they just can't understand technology, or they just don't get technology or whatever. I'd be willing to bet that every single one of those people knows how to do something that is really complicated. They have some skill that they've learned over the years. They didn't know how to do it when they first started doing it, but now they're experts at it. Anything from sewing to welding to cooking and baking. Those are all super complicated things that you have to learn. And that's the same thing for technology. I'm not talking about like coding. You don't need to code any websites. You just need to learn about how technology works, how social media platforms work, how website logins work, and not be afraid of it. Like, you can learn this stuff, and you really need to learn this stuff because it's the 21st century and it's only going to get more techie from here. And I love that, but I know it's scary for some people. So I just, I want to see and want to help. And I've always helped, like always tried to help people learn about technology and staying safe.
Yeah, that's why you ended up with the nickname The Tech Guy, because everyone in our not only family, but like sphere of friends, acquaintances will be like, "Can you fix my computer? How do I keep my email safe?" I mean, that's
Right.
just decades of you getting bombarded by those questions. But I think you've said something before, like if you can drive a car, you can stay safe on the internet.
That's right. Driving. I didn't even think about that. Driving. Oh my gosh. That's super complicated. If you think about it, like the number of decisions and pieces of data that your brain is processing every
In real
second while
time.
you're driving, the number of variables, every car, every bird that's flying by really low, or every squirrel that waits till the last minute and runs out in front of you and then reverses course, or freezes right in the middle of the road, right? Like they always do. It's like, I just think evolution would have taken care of that by now. But I just like, if you know how to drive for 100%, there is nothing on the internet or a computer that you cannot figure out how to do with a
Yeah.
little practice and a little learning. And there is information. Just go to YouTube and watch a few videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. It really is. It's not scary. And the more you know, the safer you'll be. It's just stay informed. Keep up with things.
Yeah. And look out for yourself, because the big platforms are not looking out for you, and they're never
That's
going to.
right.
You know,
That is right.
Facebook doesn't have your back. Facebook,
Yeah.
like we reported all of this. We encouraged anyone who got the message to report all of it, and they're kind of like, yeah, okay. But
Yeah,
it's
in
not
fact, one of
really
your
in.
readers let us know. Remember,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
reported
Which I
one
appreciate
of
so
the
much.
pages. Yeah, they
Yeah.
reported one of the pages, and they got a response back from Facebook that it was one of their tech support people was doing the script thing, and they just responded back and said, "Okay, thanks for letting us know, but for our fair use policies and everything, we've got to let people, set up accounts when,
No,
and
not.
it's like, no, if they had really looked into it, and they saw one that this page was impersonating you, which is
Yeah.
against their terms of service. But number two, it was asking for financial information. They would have shut it down in a second, but it's, they just can't keep up, and they're not trying to keep up. So
Right. So you have to be your own ally. And that's why it's important, to go back to your point of like the onus is on you to stay safe. And if readers and writers who are working on like, building their own social media at this stage of the game, like, do you have any like key takeaways in terms of other things they should do or resources where you can find more information about that?
yeah, well, one, first and foremost, is again, I cannot stress this enough, turn on two-factor authentication for every single account you have.
Yep.
Um, another important thing for people who have been online for a while is if you have old accounts for websites and services that you're no longer using, go delete those.
Shut 'em down.
Every
Yeah.
site will have an option to allow you to delete everything. Don't just say, well, I don't use it anymore, so I'm just going to leave it sitting there, because that
Yeah.
is just waiting to be cracked and your identity stolen. And it happens all the time. So you have to do that. But I would say for writers specifically,
Yeah.
because social media is such an important part of being a successful writer in this day and age. I mean, you just have to be on social media to grow your audience and to market your books and everything, and build your reader community, right? You have to anymore. And I would say don't be afraid of it. Pick your platforms wisely. Like
Mhm.
they all cater to different audiences, different demographics. So just you don't have to be everywhere.
Mhm.
So don't worry about that. But again, two-factor authentication for yourself, and then make sure that you're communicating regularly with your audience so that your readers, your followers and everybody, they know you, they know your voice, they know your tone, they kind of get used to your posting frequency and everything. And then just be really clear when you're, if you are going to do any giveaways or anything. I would, you know giveaways on social media are great. We're actually, I'll let you talk about what we're going to be doing with giveaways moving forward. But
Yeah.
if you are going to be doing giveaways on social media, like, you need to spell out 100 times over the exact process that people need to go through to win something, what steps they need to take. And maybe even put a disclaimer in there about, like, making sure that that the any comments or whatever is coming from you, but people should know exactly how they're going to be contacted if they win. And for us, it's always been that we would send a direct message to those people,
Yeah.
that you would. And then we comment publicly after you've made contact with them and stuff. But yeah, you, I guess, as a writer, um you know uh, uh, with social media accounts, you kind of have a heightened responsibility to try and keep your readers safe too. So you got to be really careful about the way in which you conduct things, and the language that you use, and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Well, and from the mystery writing part of me, it was fascinating to see who some of the super sleuths were, who were immediately like, Ellie, this does not seem right. And then commenting on other people who had gotten the phishing post to be like, "Then don't do this. Like, this is." So I love that part of the community too. Like, yes, let's rally around and be like, no. I think for us, we had already been moving in this direction, but this is really just like a prime example of how we're going to move any sort of future giveaways to the newsletter, because we can control that. And there's much, much, much less likelihood of anything like this happening in a newsletter giveaway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just, hopefully the people that are being sent the emails still have control of their email addresses, and, then
Because
we
they're
don't have to
locking them
worry about
down.
anybody.
They're using
Yeah,
their one
yeah.
password.
Although that actually brings up another point is, again, please know what your email address is. Like,
Oh,
just
yes.
know what your
Right.
email address is.
Yeah.
If and I say this, and I can feel the darling's eyes rolling, like, oh, of course I know what my
No,
email
you
address is. And I'll tell
no.
you right now, no, not all of you do.
Yeah,
And I know it
so true.
because I get some of your email.
Yeah.
If your last name is my last name, I get some of your email. You would not
So much.
believe. So a long time ago, without aging myself, I'll just say that I did some work with Google before Gmail launched. And so I have a very
Just your last name.
just my
Yeah.
last name at gmail.com.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it on here, but I get so much email from people all
For
over
years,
the
for
world.
decades. You
Yeah.
get
With,
you get
oh,
credit card informations. We got invited to, an Airbnb in what, like, the Bahamas? We were like, "We should
yeah.
just show up." We got the
No,
key
I got
code to the
it. It wasn't
Airbnb.
even it wasn't even an invitation. It was that we got the confirmation with
Yeah,
the
the
door key
itinerary.
code and everything, and the people's itinerary and stuff. Yeah, and again, this is the whole goal of phishing, right? Is for people to get this information. I don't do it, and I still get that stuff. So like,
Yeah.
there's a woman who, bless her heart, I have tried for the better part of a decade to get her to stop having her Chase credit card information sent to my email address. We share the same last name, and if I wanted to, I could take that information. I could log into her account. I could log into her account. I could change her password. I could have a new card sent to me. I could add myself as as a user on the account and have a new card sent to me and go out and buy a whole bunch of cool stuff. I've never done that. I never will do that.
No, and
I've
you've
let
actually
Chase
multiple
down.
times reached out to Chase
Yeah,
too, to their department,
yeah.
and they've been like, "We don't know how to stop this."
Yeah,
We're
Chase
like,
is like, I don't,
"No."
she set the email address, so it must be her email address. And I'm like, no, but I'm telling you right now that I am not this woman.
Yeah.
I don't know this woman. And I need you to know that her account is at risk. And they're like, nah,
Oh, thanks
nah.
for letting us know. Yeah,
And it's one,
appreciate it.
you're one of millions of users. Like, what do they care? Right.
Mhm.
It's too bad because they could solve this. They have all her contact information. They have her phone number. They have everything.
Right.
They could just have a customer service rep call her and say, hey, just FYI, blah, blah, blah
That's
at
not your email.
gmail.com is not your email address.
Yeah.
Right. But they haven't done that. They haven't done that. We've also gotten some really scary stuff too, like
Yeah.
just creepy stuff
Uh-huh.
that I won't get into. But it just know before, when you're filling out a form, make sure that you're putting the right email address in the form, because you might be surprised at what happens if you if you don't.
And if you don't get a, nice tech guy who ends up on the receiving end of that, who you would never do anything with that information, it
Yeah,
could
I know.
be in a world of
Yeah,
hurt. Yeah.
yeah. My favorite one is I got an email from a university, and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
they said it was basically the last communication they were going to send to this young woman about all this financial aid that they were offering her. And if they
Yeah, and
didn't hear
acceptance,
back,
right? Like, to the
yeah,
university. Uh-huh.
yeah, if they didn't hear back, they were just, that was it. She was done. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I actually called them, because thankfully they included all their information in there. I called them and I told them what was going on and who I was, and that I would delete all the information and stuff, but that they really needed to reach out to her by phone, because clearly there was some miscommunication and everything. I don't know what happened ultimately, but I'd like to think that this young woman got all the scholarships she was being offered, and
Yeah,
is like going to be some awesome member of society moving forward with like a
that's
brand
right.
new shiny degree from this really actually prestigious university. So
She's gonna cure cancer in the future thanks to
yeah,
you
thanks
because
to
she
me.
got her
Thanks. That's
financial
what
aid.
totally. I'm
Yeah,
putting
but
that
seriously.
energy out there. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
why
sure.
not?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, I mean, I just learn more, just use, and I guess the other piece that we didn't really touch on, but is the whole financial piece. So just like with passwords, there's a lot you can do to protect your finances.
Yeah, you're good at
Yeah, using services like Credit Karma is a great one. It's
yeah,
totally free,
mhm,
and you can go in there. It'll show you your credit score anytime you want to look at it. It'll show you all the accounts you have open, and that's a great way, checking the accounts that you have open, because if you see something on there that you don't recognize, that's a red flag, and you should take care of that immediately, and they'll help you.
yeah,
Credit Karma is owned by Intuit now, so they are like 100% legit. Intuit has been around forever. And you can also, it can be a pain, but if you're really really worried about your information being stolen, or identity or anything like that, you can lock your credit with
mhm,
the big three credit monitoring bureaus like Experian and TransUnion, and I can never remember the name of the third, but anyway, you can go on their website, set up an account, you can lock your credit. And what that means is then you like no new accounts can be opened in your name. Like
Yeah.
nothing. Nobody can get a credit card, nobody can get a car loan, nobody can buy a house in your name because your credit is locked. Now, every time you want to do one of those things, you have to go and you have
Then you
to
have to, yeah.
unlock it with
Mhm.
every one of those services. But I choose to do it because one, I don't need to open a lot of new accounts at this stage in our life, and two, it just gives me peace of mind because it's just another level of security, right? And
Exactly.
that's just one more way you can keep yourself safe online for sure.
That's what we're doing in this podcast. We're keeping the darlings safe out there. I have been making mental notes about a future plot, though, because there's so much material to mine here that I don't think I've ever tackled yet. So there is that. But I think this has been great and hopefully helpful information for the darlings because we don't want you to get scammed in any way, shape, or form.
No, definitely not. So hopefully a little bit of this info goes out to help the writers and readers. And then the last thing I'll say for the readers, the number one thing they can do to stay safe online is read.
Read. Yeah.
Just read.
Yeah.
Like just read what you're interacting with before you interact with it. We become a society of like instant gratification, and so when we see a link, we're conditioned to just click on that link, tap that
Yeah.
link, go go
Right.
go go go.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Just
No.
don't. It seems really like, I mean, unless you're buying Taylor Swift concert tickets, then you have to do that or you just won't get them. But
Fair enough, but then you're in the Ticketmaster queue, so you know
right,
what you are. You're not at
exactly.
Ticketmaster free blah, 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 dot
Right,
with all
right.
your money.
Again, do not go to that website. Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks for the tech talk.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime.
It's been helpful. Stay safe out there, darlings. Stay safe.
That's right. Stay safe. Until next time.
Till next time.